So I think this idea that Obama has, he's conflict averse when it comes to corporations. He doesn't like to take them on. He's got a personality problem here. It's not like he doesn't know things. He's not like Bush or something. But in a way, he disappoints us because he knows better. What's interesting about it is this. How many times has he told you? We have to get energy from all the sources. We have to get energy from oil, from gas, from solar, from conservation, from geothermal, from atomic energy. We got to get energy everywhere we can get it. Coal.
Offshore.
Not all energy is the same. Some is better for our descendants. Some is better for reducing global warming and climate change. Some is better for our pocketbooks. Some is better for our worker safety. Some is better for our tax system. Some is better for eternity. That means solar energy. The sun's going to be around for 4 billion years. It allows for long-range planning. Solar energy has been around for centuries. We used wind power many decades, centuries ago in Holland. Passive solar architecture, East Africa, ancient Persia, ancient Greece. And the more we put into it, the lower the unit cost. Right now, commercial, wind power and solar thermal. Ready, it's being deployed. We've got more megawatts from wind now than we had from nuclear in the last 30 years because there hasn't been a plant built. Why doesn't he say these things? He's afraid to upset the coal barons who he's giving more money to. And less regulation, and allowing them to blow off mountaintops. You're lucky you don't live in a state where these coal companies with these gigantic machines go into these hollows and go up to the top of these hallowed mountains that these hollow people have revered and camped out in and handed forward to their children and blow off the whole top and dump the debris down into the streams and into the gullies in order to produce coal that they ship to New York City and Washington, D.C., so they can waste all that energy in those buildings that are built to waste. They're getting away with it. So, again, very disappointing. He knows better. Afghanistan. Well, he had to say in the campaign that the war in Iraq was a mistake. That's sort of how he upended Hillary. Because Hillary voted for the war. It was a mistake. Well, he didn't want to be accused of being a wimp by those draft dodgers in the White House, or those neocon draft dodgers around Bush and Cheney. These are draft dodgers who weren't conscientious objectors. They were all gung-ho for the Vietnam War when they were younger. They just wanted other Americans to die for them and kill for them. And so, he says, the real war is Afghanistan. Like he doesn't know history. Like he never lived in the Third World. Like he doesn't know that the British failed, the Soviets failed. Nobody wins in Afghanistan. It's not really a unified country. It's tribes. One of them is 40 million people, the Pashtuns. There are others in the north. They have struggles between one another. Invaders pit one another against them. They have clans within the tribe. The Taliban are not just the Taliban. Some of them are making a livelihood by the poppy trade, which is now 80% of Afghanistan's GDP, compliments of the U.S. government. Because before the invasion of Afghanistan, they want to go after the backers and the attackers on 9/11. So let's blow a country apart. That's it's like you hear the old story of the father who says, "Quick, there's a fly on baby's head. Give me a hammer." So here's what the Taliban are broken into. One, poppy trade. The farmers. So we went over there and we're going to eradicate the poppy trade because money goes into the antagonists. bank accounts. What do you think we're doing now? We're protecting the public. Why? Because we're trying to win the hearts and minds of the Afghan farmer. And so, you don't burn down the farmer's livelihood. They starve. That's all they have. So we got U.S. soldiers now protecting a narco economy. The first irony. The second irony is that because we have convoys bringing supplies up into the mountains, you know what it costs to bring a gallon of gasoline to an operational stage in Afghanistan for our U.S. military? $400. Your money. Well, they go through passes, and they can be blown up. So what are we doing? We're paying the Taliban for safe passage. $100 bills that come in cargo planes. Your money. All right, so some of them are doing poppy. Some of them are fighting to get rid of the invader. They will never stop. If we had invaders in our country, do you think that Texans would stop? Do you think that Floridians would stop? Do you think anybody would stop? You know who made that first mistake? It was called King George III. He had the most powerful army in the world, the most powerful empire. 2 million colonists? Piece of cake. Send over the redcoats. Blow them out of the water. What happened? See what happened? Do you think we're only the ones who are capable of resisting forever the invader? Oh no, we'll take care of them. We'll build a few schools, build a few roads, bribe one against the other, blow apart the others, push a few buttons in Nevada and Florida with the drones, knock them off. This is insanity. We're pushing the army where it doesn't really want to go. Once you put the military in someplace, they want to win. But we don't listen to them when they tell us, don't go there. They told us, don't go to Iraq. Up to the 4-star level in the U.S. Army and the Pentagon. Cy Hirsch reported on that. Because they knew what they were getting into. Some Taliban protecting their valleys. Other Taliban would like to cut a deal with Karzai, who's a Pushtun. Karzai must be chuckling. We accuse him of running a corrupt government. Who is passing out $100 bills faster than a computer can count? We're bribing everybody in sight. And Karzai is saying they're calling me corrupt? They're calling my brother corrupt in the drug trade? Who's guarding the fields? GIs. And the worst is this. We're killing a lot of civilians. We don't know their names. Their mamas, papas, children, wedding parties, good Samaritans running to help fallen people, and then they get hit by the gunships or the drones. Just think, you're sitting there, it's 8-hour job, Florida, Nevada. You see the drones? The drones are over a village. They focus on a man named Masood. He's lying on the roof of his house. He's a Pakistani Taliban. He's a suspect. Now, what is the suspect? The suspect could be a lead from a bounty hunter. The suspect can be a lead from a revenge of one clan against another. We don't know the language. We don't know the intrigue. We know that if we knock people off, we can justify all that money back home and say, we got another terrorist. Like state terrorism doesn't exist. So listen to this. This happens hundreds of times. The drone has the photo of the roof. It zeroes it back to Florida. People are at the computer controls.